My name is Lily. I'm 25 years old, and I used to believe in love. I thought I had found my soulmate in Daniel, the man I spent 3 years of my life with. He was everything I thought I wanted: handsome, kind, and funny. Or at least that's what I thought. But one day, everything changed. I found out the truth that broke my heart and made me question everything. Daniel cheated on me. And the worst part, I never saw it coming. Let me tell you how it all happened. From the beginning, it was a sunny afternoon when I first met Daniel. I was at a cafe reading a book when he walked in. He smiled at me and said, "That looks like a good book. Mind if I sit here?" I laughed and said, "Sure." He was charming, with a confident way of speaking that made me feel instantly comfortable. We started talking, and before I knew it, 2 hours had passed. By the end of our conversation, he asked for my number. I hesitated for a moment, but there was something about him that made me say yes. A week later, we went on our first date. He took me to a small park with a beautiful view of the city. We talked about everything: our jobs, our families, our dreams. He told me he was an architect, and I told him I was a graphic designer. By the end of the date, I couldn't stop smiling. Daniel was thoughtful, funny, and easy to talk to. I remember thinking, this feels different. This feels real. Daniel and I became inseparable. He made me feel like I was the most important person in his life. He would text me every morning, saying, "Good morning, beautiful." He would surprise me with flowers or my favorite chocolates. Whenever I had a bad day, he would say, "Don't worry, Lily. I've got you." For 2 years, everything felt perfect. We spent weekends exploring the city, trying new restaurants, and watching movies on his couch. He made me laugh, made me feel safe, made me believe that we were building something special. He even talked about our future. One day, "I want to buy us a house," he said. "I can see us building a family together." I smiled and said, "I want that too." At that moment, I thought I had everything, but little did I know things were about to change. It started small. Daniel began spending more time on his phone, smiling at messages he didn't share with me. I noticed he would put his phone face down on the table, something he never used to do. "Who are you texting?" I asked one evening. "Just a coworker," he replied casually. "Nothing important." I wanted to trust him, so I didn't ask again. But I couldn't ignore the uneasy feeling in my chest. Something wasn't right. Over the next few weeks, Daniel started coming home later than usual. "Work has been so busy," he explained. He still smiled at me, still kissed me goodnight, but I felt a distance growing between us. I tried to convince myself that I was imagining things. He loves me, I thought. He would never hurt me. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. One night, Daniel came home late. He looked tired and distracted, but he still gave me a quick kiss on the cheek. "I'm going to take a shower," he said, leaving his phone on the table. I stared at the phone, my heart racing. I didn't want to be the kind of person who went through someone's phone. But something in my gut told me to look. With shaking hands, I picked it up and unlocked it. What I saw made my heart stop. There were messages from another woman. Her name was Sarah, and the messages were romantic. She called him baby and said she missed him. He sent her photos of himself, and in one of the messages, he wrote, "I can't wait to see you again, my love." I felt like I couldn't breathe. My hands were shaking, and tears filled my eyes. How could he do this to me? I scrolled further and saw that the messages had been going on for months. He had been meeting her behind my back, lying to me every single day. When Daniel came out of the shower, I was still holding his phone. "What is this?" I asked, my voice trembling. He froze when he saw the screen. "Lily, I can explain," he said, his face pale. "Explain what?" I shouted. "You've been cheating on me." How could you do this? I thought you loved me." He sat down, covering his face with his hands. "I'm sorry," he said. I made a mistake." "A mistake?" I cried. "You didn't just make a mistake, Daniel. You betrayed me. You lied to me. For days, I couldn't stop crying. I stayed in bed, replaying every moment of our relationship in my head. How could I have missed the signs? Was it my fault? Did I do something wrong?" Daniel kept texting me, begging for another chance. "Lily, I love you," he wrote. "Please don't leave me. I'll do anything to make it right." But how could I believe him? How could I ever trust him again? After a week, Daniel came to my apartment. He looked broken, his eyes filled with regret. "Lily," he said, "I'm so sorry. I know I hurt you, but I love you. Please, give me one more chance." I wanted to slam the door in his face, but I couldn't. I still loved him, even after everything he had done. "Why, Daniel?" I asked, tears streaming down my face. "Why did you do it?" "I don't know," he said softly. "I was stupid. I wasn't thinking, but I promise it won't happen again." I wanted to believe him. I wanted to believe that he could change. So I said, "Okay, one more chance. But if you hurt me again, we're done." For a while, things seemed better. Daniel deleted Sarah's number and promised to be honest with me. He started spending more time at home and even wrote me a letter saying, "You're the only woman I want, Lily. I'll never hurt you again." But 2 months later, I saw him texting her again. This time, I didn't wait for an explanation. I packed my things and left. Leaving Daniel was the hardest thing I've ever done. But it was also the best decision I've ever made. For too long, I had put my happiness in his hands. Now, I'm learning to find happiness on my own. I moved to a new city, started focusing on my career, and even made new friends. It wasn't easy, but every day I felt a little stronger. Looking back, I realized that Daniel's betrayal wasn't my fault. He made his choices, and those choices had nothing to do with me. Sometimes people hurt you not because you deserve it, but because they don't know how to love you the right way. I still believe in love, but now I know that love should never hurt. Love should be honest, kind, and full of respect. And one day, I hope to find someone who will love me the way I deserve. If you liked my story, please like, share, and subscribe for more. Thank you for listening.